big films. What was it like transitioning from scoring for lower budget movies to some major movies?
Well, as I say, New Jack City, I didn't write it. I supervised it through several composers that got hired and then subsequently fired. And Moonstruck was an entirely different experience. I did design it. I guess you could say I designed Moonstruck by taking the opera that is the basis of the film and finding instrumental versions of the opera and editing them so that the movie had a score, even though it wasn't a legal score. It was a template for Dick Hyman, who was the actual composer, and he admitted to me that he was very grateful for what I had done. And when you design a score with pre-existing music, there's not a lot of jeopardy to it. In other words, if you record music for a movie and it doesn't work or the director doesn't like it, you've suddenly spent a great deal of money that you can't get back, and people frown at you when you do that. But when you're finding music that already pre-exists, it's an experiment that doesn't really have much jeopardy to it. And so I enjoyed doing it. I compare it with playing jazz. Let's try this, let's try that. Let's get reactions from people. And the reactions I liked, I retained, and the ones I didn't like, I dismissed. Well, they don't know what they're talking about. The difference between the movies of the size of Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things and even Death Dream compared with New Jack City is that with the bigger movies you have a staff of people that do things for you and that will answer questions and find things. And with the small movie, I was, in a sense, the composer and the driver at the same time. So it's like any other industry. If you own a small hardware store, it's different from running Home Depot. I hope that answers your question, or at least sounds like it does.
Al, could you describe how character you play? So, in an interview, did you describe with an Oscar Wilde type?
Oscar Wilde. I think Oscar Wilde was nicer. Well, it's funny. I don't think I thought of this at the time, but people keep asking me, was it based on Charles Manson? And now I look at it and I think it must have had some influence on us, because I have that beard kind of like him, and it's this kind of weird cult-like group, and maybe there was some unconscious or semi-conscious thing about that. But I kept thinking of Vincent Price. I thought, I gotta be like Vincent Price. And so I was doing all that stuff, and I didn't really know how to be in front of a camera. But anyway, it was fun. I look at it now and I kind of, oh well, but I just thought he was a mean guy, a villain, a bad guy. That was the extent of the subtlety with which I approached that character. And I had all this dialogue I had to remember. I had a lot of speeches. And that was, half the time I was thinking, I have to get this speech out and I have to hit this mark and I have to turn my head like this. And I didn't know how to do that stuff. And I don't know if any of you ever been in a movie, but
I have.
you haven't. Well, then you know what I'm talking about. You have to, it's very technical. When I watch people now like Spencer Tracy or somebody like that, I can see them hitting their marks kind of, they just do it so smoothly. If you weren't looking for it, you would never notice it in a million years, So I think it takes a lot of practice.
And occasionally you can even see the marks. But you're not looking at the marks because you're looking at Spencer Tracy. But if you look down, you can every once in a while see the masking tape. That's where he had to put his foot.
I also wanted to point out that Bruce Solomon is a familiar face from a lot of early 1980s, late 70s TV, and including Harry Hartman and Mary Hartman. It's funny in doing preparation research for this. It's like, oh my God, you appeared in all these things. That's where I see you from. Because growing up, I was like, you were in that, you were in this. Mary Hartman today is remembered as a very quirky TV show.
Sort of a classic.
Yeah, but it was different. You know, and probably why it's remembered so fondly. I think we're going to probably wrap this up because you guys have your room to get back to. And thank you all for coming to see the casting. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.